Welcome to another Spoolheads Racing YouTube video. In this video, I'm going to be comparing the turns from the Adventure Force NASCAR Crash Racer set to the Spoolheads Modular Open Track turn. The turns from the Adventure Force Crash Racer set are definitely the most popular turns used for diecast racing. You can find the Adventure Force NASCAR Crash Racer set in the United States here at Walmart for about $30. I recorded these tests with the cars going into the turn at a pretty healthy speed. I'm playing it back at half speed. Cars generally don't take long to find a line to take through the turn, and they don't deviate from that line much as they go through the turn. Here's a modified car sent in from Mr. Dark, and it's the fastest car in this test. Notice as he comes in from the outside lane how he stays up on the wall and maintains a consistent path through the turn. But even with the Crash Racer's turn, there's still a fair amount of what I'll call artifacts of racing. For example, there's spinouts, drifts, cars hopping up over the rail, or even just flipping over. With the latest version of the modular open track turn, I've extended the ramps out. This is because it finally occurred to me that the Crash Racer's turn isn't just the turn pieces. It's also a piece of flexible track going in and out that act as a ramp. Another advantage to extending the ramps out is that the footprint is almost identical to the Crash Racer's now. This should make it a lot easier for anyone wanting to change out a Crash Racer's turn for a modular open track turn. Take a look at how some of these cars are going through the turn and let me know what you think. There are still definitely racing artifacts. There is some drifting coming out of the turn, but it's not as dramatic as when the ramps were shorter. In these tests, I did have a couple cars go high and flip coming out of the turn. The modular open track turn is currently being used and tested by a few other YouTube channels. Some of the feedback that I've received from it is that it adds a little bit more randomness to the racing. Some cars struggle with the turn and occasionally crash. At other times, the turn causes a long drift coming out, allowing other cars to catch up. Other cars, when they catch the turn correctly, have a boost of speed coming out of it. Now in these tests and some previous tests, I realized that some cars struggle to find a line going into the turn. For example, here you can see Mr. Dark's modified car start on the outside. I would anticipate that cars that start on the outside would go up high on the bank, but instead they're struggling to find a line and cutting to the inside as they start the turn. Cars that start on the inside of the bank turn don't have this issue. After closer inspection, I figured out that the groove spacing that I have doesn't allow for cars to stay up on the outside. Right here you can see that the car is actually on top of the groove, not allowing the groove to support the car at all, but instead forcing it to slide down as it starts to turn. With the discovery of this problem, I've taken some time to really figure out what the groove spacing should be. I measured out the wheel distance between several different cars, and I figured out a groove spacing that will now work better for the turn. So stay tuned for the next Spoolheads video, and I'll get the new groove spacing implemented. Thanks everyone for watching and all your support, and race on, friends.